Today we're talking about why going to the gym more days doesn't necessarily equal more muscle. And I know you can't see it with the hoodie, but I have taken some nice sexy pictures of my body for you, just for you. So OnlyFans link in the description. Now for this video, I'm gonna make some assumptions. First, the assumption is that you're actually following a proper workout split. So that could be full body, push pull legs, upper lower, bro split, whatever, right? You've probably been through this where you were training hard and you still weren't growing, so you added another day. And you added another day because you thought more days would get you more sets, which would therefore get you more gains, right? And that is a logical assumption because when you're a beginner, at first, you're not actually training that much or that hard. And because of that, you learn to associate more volume with growth because when you were starting out, that was the case. But after your noob gains, it gets a lot harder to build muscle. You actually have to start thinking about what you're doing. You've gone past the stage where you need to do more volume, right? You've probably not maxed out. You're probably doing a good amount of volume. If anything, you would actually get more gains for doing less volume. I just want to make that clear. And when you're at the point that more volume is just spending more time in the gym than actually making gains, and you'll know that because you'll be going to the gym doing a bunch of volume, but you might not see a difference in your at that point your muscle growth is capped by your recovery and your diet, not just your effort. It most likely isn't to do with your workout split or the order of your exercises or flipping practically anything to do with training. There are like two things that may be capping your growth, but besides that, it might genuinely be like you're just focusing on the it most likely is that you're just focusing on the wrong thing and you need to start focusing on your recovery and your diet. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the three things that will make sure that your growth is never capped by recovery or diet again. First thing, junk volume is where you do more volume than necessary for a specific muscle. And when that happens, I'm going to go to a previous video to explain this, which is 3 bodybuilding lessons I wish I knew sooner. You should go and check that out. It's a good video. Here, I also talked about junk volume. And I explain it a lot better in my 3 bodybuilding lessons video, but just to give you the general overview, you have a specific amount of recovery and you also get fatigue. And to build muscle, you're first going to have to get rid of fatigue so that then your body can produce new muscle. Okay? So, when you do junk volume, you are increasing the amount of fatigue you have. Let's say you did 50 sets of chest in a week. Imagine that 50 sets of chest in about 10 to 15 of those sets are actually contributing to your muscle. And the other 40 to 35, the other 35 to 40 sets is literally just fatigue. It's literally just going to be you're going to go to sleep and you're going to spend like the next 3 days trying to recover from all the damage, and you're probably not going to build much more muscle because you spent so much time recovering the muscle you've destroyed. Does that make sense? Which is why, like, fatigue, you have when you go to sleep, you get like recovery points. Okay, imagine this is a video game. You get recovery points when you go to sleep. Your recovery points subtract your fatigue points. They remove your fatigue and you get fatigue points from training in the gym. When you put your recovery points and your fatigue points together, you get muscle points, okay? So what is the goal? Assuming you want to build muscle, what is the goal? To have as many recovery points as possible and to have as little fatigue points as possible in order to get as many muscle points as possible. Does this make sense? So in order to get the optimal amount of fatigue, which is the lowest amount of fatigue, you want a hard cap at 10 to 15 sets per muscle group per week. So that would be doing 10 to 15 sets of chest, 10 to 15 sets of biceps, biceps and triceps. It gets tricky with like more with smaller muscles, but say like your back, your lats, for example, you want to do about 10 to 15 sets per week. Some muscle groups like the biceps and triceps, the lateral delts, they can be even less, to be honest. I think I do about 8 sets per week of lateral delts, and let me just show you what I look like again. The lateral delts is this muscle, the shoulder, the side shoulder, and I think it looks pretty good. So you really don't need that much volume, honestly. Like, let's do the math on this. You wanna, like, honestly, most of this could be done in about an upper lower session. Maybe 2 upper lower session. You could get away with 4 times a week going to the gym. Hell, even 3 times a week if you're doing push pull legs. You could feasibly get away with that. It might be tricky, but you could. I have confidence. Now, getting rid of junk volume is an amazing first step. However, you're still going to get fatigue, right? Remember the fatigue points? I said training gets you fatigue points, not just junk volume, but all volume, minimal level of fatigue. But we still need to get rid of that fatigue. And to do that, we need recovery points. So how do we get recovery points? Introducing step 2, your recovery capacity. You need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, every night, and a calorie surplus, because a calorie surplus is particularly protein, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. When you get protein, you can, like, muscle protein synthesis, like big scientific words. Basically, protein equals you can recover your muscles. Simple as that, right? Don't need to overcomplicate it if you don't want to. Like, there are dumb meatheads in your gym and they can build muscle. So you don't need to learn that much about it. I do because I coach people. Link in the description, by the way. Now, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Everyone, I swear to God, everyone gets sleep so wrong. Right. Let's say you wanted to wake up at 6 a.m. and you need 8 hours of sleep. When do you go to bed? At 9 p.m., not 10 p.m. Why? Everyone says 10 p.m. Why? Okay? Why did I say 9 p.m.? Because you do not go unconscious the second it hits 10 p.m. Most of you are going into bed and scrolling on your phones and doing everything but trying to go unconscious, right? So you need to honestly dedicate about an extra hour of bedtime before you go to sleep, because you're going to be in there like head on the pillow thinking about your crush, or thinking about like whatever fantasy you got going on in your head, everything but going to sleep, right? You need time to go to sleep. What if you wake up and need to, like, what if you feel the need to go toilet? What if you forget? Like, you need to allocate more time to bed than you're already doing. Okay, that's the first thing. I'm not going to go on that any longer. Whenever you want to wake up, just go 9 hours before that. That is like the dumbest, simplest way I can explain it, and you'll get better. Now, the second thing is you need to go to bed at the same time every single day, including weekends, right? And now your brain's already coming up with excuses on why you can't do this. Alfie, but what about Saturday night fun when I go and try and speak to girls, but then they say ew and run away from me? What about that? I really enjoy that part of my life, right? First of all, you know what I mean? Secondly, if your main goal right now is to get jacked, in my opinion, if you are optimizing for that goal, you should go the full way, including going to bed at the same time every single day, including weekends. Right? You want this goal. You want to get jacked. You know the benefits of getting jacked. You will look more attractive. You'll be taken more seriously. You'll get more compliments. You'll feel better about yourself, which is, honestly, I know it sounds corny, but feeling good about yourself is one of the best feelings you can get. I'm telling you, you should be going to bed at the same time every day. Okay? Am I saying this is the way it needs to be for the rest of your life? No. There will be times where you will want to stay up late. I stay up late sometimes. You're not a bad person for doing that. But if you have to think about it like this. What do you want more? Do you want to stay up late gooning and doom scrolling, or do you want a physique? The jacked, right? Doom scrolling, physique. It's up to you which one you want. I know which one I would prefer. And if that is the case, you need to take it seriously. Go to bed, same time every. Now, the third thing took me so long to actually compute. It took me so long to fully realize the importance of this. It's literally just progressive overload, right? If you're not growing, one of the main reasons is genuinely gonna be progressive overload. You're just not consistently adding reps or weight to your exercise. It took me so long to understand this simple concept, and if I knew it earlier, I would have made so much more muscle. All right, let's say that you hit every exercise in an 8 to 12 rep range. That's pretty good. If you're a beginner, I recommend that, honestly. 8 to 12 rep range for every single set. Let's say you start off empty barbell bench, you do that for 8 reps, right? And you hit failure, okay? You have to be hitting failure for progressive overload. Failure or going close to failure. Do that, okay? So first time you do bench press, you hit 8 reps, you can't do any more, you re-rack the barbell. Next time you hit bench press, you go back to the bar, you go back to the bench press, but this time you go to failure and hit 9 reps. Great. You're actually building muscle because your body is gaining more strength to do more reps or more weight. Next session is 10 reps, 11, 12 reps. And when you hit 12 reps, then you up the weight. And when you complete 12 reps, you go back to 8 reps, but this time you up the weight. So now you would go to 22.5 kg, which will be 1.25 kg plates on either side of the barbell. And then you repeat the process 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's how progressive overload works. And like when you have good form and you're doing progressive overload properly, you're not ego lifting, you will gain. And this is why it is so important to track your lifts. Just track everything. However much this goal means to you, you need to act like it, okay? If getting a better physique would change your life, you need to track it seriously. Download Heavy. I'm not sponsored or anything. It's just the app I personally use. Download Heavy and track every single lift in there and track. And that way you'll be able to say, oh, last week I did this. Oh, this week I have to do this. Okay, a lot of people just walk into the gym and they don't even have a workout plan. They just go into the gym and they genuinely just sit there and then decide what they want to do. I've done that before. It felt fun until I realized I wasn't building muscle. And now I track my lifts. It's fun and I also build muscle. So just track. Please, for the love of God, just track. Now, if you want my one-to-one help to help you figure out the muscle building game, because I promise you it's taken me years to figure this out. I can just give you the steps and help you transform your life. Honestly, gain 5 kg of lean muscle in 90 days or lose 5 kg of fat in 90 days. And if you do complete that, you also have a chance to win your money back. So that's the first link in the description. You can book a call and we'll have a chat and see if you're a good fit for the coaching.